which is the Supreme Court, on Saturday put out the probe report on the cash recovery at the residence of Delhi High Court Judge Yashwant Varma. The report, which was accompanied by a letter from the Delhi High Court Chief Justice, as well as Justice Varma's response to the questions asked of him, it included visuals, and you're seeing those pictures, which show piles of charred currency notes, in fact, which were found after this fire incident was reported on the night of Holi, the 14th of March, 15th of morning. According to that 25-page inquiry report, which was uploaded on the Supreme Court's website, Justice Varma has denied all the allegations, calling them a conspiracy to malign him. The Delhi High Court Chief Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay, who had reported to the CJI, had asked him to account for the presence of the money in the outhouse of his bungalow. In response, Justice Varma told Chief Justice Upadhyay that no cash was ever placed in that storeroom either by him or any of his family members. He denied outright that the money belonged to him. On the same day, the Supreme Court said that it had set up a 3-member committee which has the Chief Justices of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, the Himachal Pradesh High Court, and also one of the judges from the Karnataka High Court, the 3 members who will look into the allegations against Justice Varma. Today, the Delhi High Court withdrew the judicial work that was assigned to Justice Varma with immediate effect until further orders. The court also, the collegium today, transferred Justice Varma back to his parent court, the Allahabad High Court, where the Bar Association seems to have taken grave offence at that. They have said that they will protest if Justice Varma is repatriated to the Allahabad High Court. Meanwhile, top sources have told CNN News 18 that the 3-judge committee is likely to begin its probe in the next couple of days. Now, while the Supreme Court formed a 3-judge inquiry panel against Justice Yashwant Varma, here's what the rule book says if there are grave allegations brought forth against a sitting judge. After receiving a complaint against a judge, the Chief Justice of India will then seek a reply from the concerned judge. If the reply is not satisfactory, then the Chief Justice will form an internal committee to investigate the case. Now, usually, the committee consists of 1 Supreme Court judge followed by 2 High Court Chief Justices. After a thorough investigation, the report is then presented before the Chief Justice of India by the judges panel. If the panel comes to the conclusion that yes, there was misconduct and the misconduct is grave, then the Chief Justice of India can ask the concerned judge to resign. However, and there is a caveat here, in case the judge refuses to resign, then the government has to initiate the impeachment process against the sitting judge. And that, the process to remove a sitting judge or impeachment, is not easy at all. And here's why it is legally challenging. Since removal is only possible on grounds of proven misbehavior or incapacity, the ability to give reasoned judgments, if you can prove either misbehavior or incapacity, then the impeachment process requires concrete evidence. The process avoids frivolous attempts to try and maintain the independence of the judiciary, and that makes the process itself deliberately laborious and rigorous. Furthermore, the committee of judges investigate the allegations, they deliberate upon the allegations, which again is a time-consuming process. It requires meticulous proof as well as application of mind. And lastly, achieving bipartisan support in both houses of parliament, that's a very rare thing. And that adds to the difficulty of removing a sitting judge. There has to be 2/3 majority for both houses of parliament for the impeachment process to go through. Some even argue that because the impeachment process has deliberately been made so difficult and so uncertain to try and avoid frivolous cases, it actually ends up doing the opposite, which is it gives extraordinary leeway to errant judges. All right, so over the weekend, you had this dramatic picture of currency notes catching fire, on fire literally, at the outhouse of Judge Yashwant Varma, who's now currently facing an inquiry as well as has been de-rostered from any judgments, from any sitting on any benches. I want to go across to former Attorney General Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, who's now joining us. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us. You must have seen these pictures as well, pretty dramatic, currency notes on fire. What was your first reaction when you saw those pictures? And does the defense that's been put forth by Justice Varma add up, saying that, him and his family were not there, they're being framed, etc., etc.? Or does he need to come clean on where this money came from? What was it doing lying around in his outhouse?
See, obviously, my first reaction was that the judge will have a lot of explanation to do if money is found in his house, including his outhouse, That is the judge's premises. The amount is very large. There cannot be any explanation except one of moral turpitude. That was my first reaction. But from events which have unfolded, I am not so sure whether the explanation of the judge is convincing or not convincing or should be thrown out. I think there are questions on either side, and I may only tell you one thing which puzzles me is this, that if the amount was some 4,000 bundles and there was a fire, today I saw a picture of the burnt notes in the edition of Free Press Journal Mumbai,
Yeah.
where the photograph is very, very clear that a large number of notes were half burnt. So, if that is so, why did the police not take possession of the burnt notes? Because that is case property. Why did not police call the income tax, which is the normal protocol when huge amounts of cash is recovered? Nothing of that sort has happened, and it appears that next morning, whether the High Court Chief Justice's man went there or where the judge himself was there or whatever, there is no recovery at all, even of sample notes. So, where is the evidence of corruption today? You can't have a case of corruption only on a video without the actual material being available. So, I don't know. Much can be said on either side. I don't even know whether the notes were genuine or fake.
Okay.
Suppose you have fake notes and you burn them in somebody's house and his reputation is tarred because notes are found. Today there is no case property, there is no material. Why did the police not recover it? Why did any government agency not make a panchnama? Is the first question which has to be answered.
Mr. Rohatgi,
And
so assuming that the judge is right when he says, somebody has framed him for this, shouldn't the CCTV footage around the house, the outhouse, if somebody has come into that premises and put the money there and then burnt it to frame
you are
Justice
absolutely
Varma,
right.
shouldn't that be put out?
No, you are absolutely right. Therefore, these questions have to be investigated and answered. In the last 3 months, you should look at the CCTV. Who's coming, who's going? How is that room being accessed on a daily basis? Who is accessing that room? What are the call records of the judge show? What does the CRPF say when they are guarding the place? All that material must come out for a proper investigation. Unfortunately, the case property has disappeared. That was primary evidence. All this is secondary evidence. But whatever there is, it should be looked at, it should be examined. And if I may say so, in my humble opinion, this judge's inquiry cannot get to the bottom of it. You require a police
Yeah.
investigation because you have to question these police officers who were present, who notified the police commissioner. Why did not the police commissioner notify the income tax? Why did they not make a panchnama? Where did the material go? Who removed the charred debris? How did it find place outside the judge's house? Where is the NDMC chaps who saw today's paper says they saw some burnt notes? All that will have to be examined. CDR will have to be examined. Phone records will have to be examined. You require forensic experts to do that. A judge's committee can't do that. And therefore, according to me, a full-fledged police investigation is the need of the hour for the
So,
simple reason that one must come to a conclusion as quickly as possible.
so,
Because you see, if the judge is right, his reputation has become mud anyway. So after putting in 30 years of practice as a lawyer or a judge, it has become mud. If he has to get some relief, it should be immediate. If he has to be, convicted or arrested, that also should happen at the earliest. These things cannot linger on.
So,
And I am also
the three judges are looking into this. Like you said, they're not in a criminal investigation. They are simply looking at the matter of whether Justice Varma can continue as judge and whether his explanation adds up. My point is, given what we have seen over the last 3 or 4 days, and clearly this is really ratcheted up the hornet's nest within the legal circles. Do you think Justice Varma's continuance as a judge is still tenable?
No, his continuance as a judge is not tenable in the current circumstances. The order of the Chief Justice of India is correct, and that must continue. But the point is, it cannot continue interminably. It must continue for a month or so, and the police should be asked immediately because, according to me, the judge committee cannot get to the bottom of this. Lot of examination has to be done of various people, various records, including some forensic experts to go to the place to see if they can find any trace of what is happening, etc., etc.
All right, Mr. Rohatgi, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, the former Attorney General of India, saying that a judge's inquiry alone is not enough. It will not suffice. There has to be an FIR lodged by the police, and the police have to get to the bottom of the cash, whether it was real, how did it happen, was it an accident, or did somebody deliberately set the cash pile on fire, and most importantly, where did all that cash come from in the first place?